Change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Today I want to talk about goal setting, or more specifically, the challenge goal, which usually involves some kind of streak of time. The 30-day raw challenge, the 30-day push-up challenge, the 30-day running challenge. Any time that you commit to a goal that includes a streak of unbroken time or uninterrupted activity, I think you're setting yourself up for failure, frustration, and disappointment. And here's why. The main problem with these streak goals is that you spend most of your mental energy keeping track of time rather than keeping yourself on track, meaning your attention is not going towards what do I need to do right now in this moment to take a step. Instead, you're mainly focusing on how many days you have been consistent. And I think that's a bad place to put your attention, because what it ends up doing is creating a lot of pressure. And that's the last thing that you want when you're trying to engage in a new habit. If you fail after a single day, well, then you really haven't lost much. But what if you fail after 90 days? How are you going to feel about that? Not good. So if you make a mistake after day 1, no big deal, I'll just start again tomorrow. But if you make a mistake after day 90, it's not the same starting place, because you have this great sense of loss because you've just lost 90 days. So taking those steps again tomorrow to get back on the wagon doesn't feel nearly as easy as the person that's simply getting back on after a single day. So my goal in helping people to change their habits is to get them to focus their energy on keeping on the track rather than keeping track. And approaching your goals as if every day is the first day doesn't sound that motivating, because you don't get to celebrate. Well, you don't get to celebrate the big success, but you do get to celebrate the little steps again and again every day you take them. So let's unpack this a little more, because maybe you're not convinced yet. A big component of these streak goals is the need to feel that you're always on, you're always there, and you're always capable. And that word capable is a fun one to play around with, because you could say cape-able. Like, I'm able to put on my cape and be the super version of me that I committed to 30 days ago. I said, I'm going to do this for 30 days. I'm going to become a new person. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to grow. I'm going to be bigger than I've ever been. Putting on the cape, I am now super me. And every single day of that streak, moving towards that eventual goal, you're going to need to feel like that super you. But what happens on the day when you wake up and you don't? What happens when you get some bad news? What happens when you get a letter in the mail that says you're going to be audited? What happens when you get sick? What happens when there's a family issue? What happens if you lose your job? What happens if you get a flat tire on the way to work? It doesn't take much to deflate that super version of you, and suddenly you find yourself engaging in the habits that you were trying to change. Because you can't always be on, you can't always be there, and you can't always be capable. Life doesn't work that way. Life is incredibly complex and it's unpredictable. We never know what's going to show up on any particular day. So I think it's so much better to simply focus on what you can do right now to keep on track rather than keeping track. Because there's a lot more to lose when you keep track. Because some days the present you is not going to feel like the past you. But you made this commitment. I know I should be doing this, but I really don't feel like it. So when we have these streak goals or these commitment goals in time, we keep shoulding all over ourselves, as Tony Robbins has said. And if you look at the word should and you add an ERS to it, you get shoulders. So if you have too many shoulds in your life, you're really shouldering more and more responsibility. And the longer that streak goes, the more weight is on your shoulders or your shoulders. I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And it just keeps adding up and adding up and adding up until you stop showing up. I know these streak goals are inspiring and they're motivating and you want to jump on the next 30-day challenge, but I recommend instead that you just focus on the micro environment that you find yourself in right now, and you look around and you say, what can I do in this moment right here to keep me on track rather than looking back and keeping track of what you've done and who you should be. Forget about who you should be and focus instead on who you could be in this moment, right here, without anything on your shoulders at all. Okay, let me know in the comments below what you think about this and if you've ever committed to a 30-day challenge or any of these street goals and what your experience was. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like this channel, subscribe and make sure to click the bell so you get notifications when I post. And if you want to keep me in this conversation, come on over to Patreon, $1 or $2 a month. And I greatly appreciate your support. All right, see ya.